It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. If you believe the unbelievable, this is your week. March has seldom been madder than it is right now, and we're not even halfway done with the round of 32 yet for the 2021 NCAA Tournament. Here to try to make some sense out of it all, Team 390, Rico Beard, longtime Detroit radio and TV personality, Specs Howard broadcast instructor, recruiting insider, and co-host of the Mike Valeni Show with Rico on 97.1 The Ticket. How you doing, Rico?
Jack, I'm doing a lot better than most Big Ten teams are in this tournament. Man, give it up to the double-digit seeds, man. They made it far, and now you see why if Michigan State gets past UCLA, they probably will be playing next week against, but UCLA, big props to them. They got Abilene Christian coming up next.
That's right. Michigan State, Abilene Christian. You kind of have to like their chances to advance another game, but they're spectators now, along with a lot of other teams in the Big Ten. Also want to welcome Graham Couch, sports and more columnist for the Lansing State Journal. He's a Final Four playground player and rec basketball player, but he is also co-host of Couch and the Rube weekday afternoons on the Spotlight Radio Network. How you doing, Graham?
I'm doing well. I mean, my bracket's in shambles. I had Illinois winning the whole thing. It's just, I think I had Purdue beating Baylor in the Sweet 16. I mean, what do I know? Why do you even have me on?
Well,
I'm wondering that myself, Jack.
It's different for the players. If it's different for the coaches, it is different for the fans, those who were there. And how do you think Indianapolis and the state of Indiana did with the multiple sites, all within driving distance, and a much better weight room than the women had?
Yeah, well, I think it's been, they pulled it off is what they've done. And they've got some cool venues, having Hinkle Fieldhouse involved. Look, this is a get through it type of year, and it looks like they're going to get through it. And it still has a bit of that special NCAA tournament feel. Rico,
you have to feel sorry for VCU. Had a no contest in that game, unable to play, and for some officials. And Roger Ayers really feeling it right now, but he is not alone. And we'll see how this goes the rest of the tournament. We will be right back, and we're going to start with Michigan State and what happened Thursday night against UCLA coming up next.
Stars Casino by Poker Stars.
I won $54,000 in Stars Casino.
Stars Casino, now live in Michigan.
The best part was when I got to tell my mom in person and see her reaction, just the way her face lit up. It was amazing.
I had a big weekend. I cashed out for $600.
Poker Stars is a trusted name, so I saw Poker Stars, I figured that's a site I got to be part of.
Download the app and sign up today. New players get a free $50 bonus.
It's literally like being in a casino in your own living room.
Plus, we're the only casino with a daily free bonus.
First thing I do in the morning is I get a cup of coffee and I check the daily free bonuses.
There are hundreds of slots online, and with one tap, you can play poker and bet sports.
I have poker and I have casino, and it's all in the same app. It's a lot of fun.
On Stars Casino, I made a $5 bet and I won $2,500.
Sign up today at starscasino.com to claim your free $50 bonus.
Come on down to Grow Generation for all your grow supply needs. We've got it all, from organic nutrients and soils to state-of-the-art hydroponic equipment and lights. Grow Generation has the best product selection, service, and solutions in the industry. Ask about Sunleaves, our in-house line of nutrients, or check out our brand new Ion 720-watt LED light fixture. Whether you're a novice or a pro, Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for all grow supplies. Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 107 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, go green, go Graf. There you see the score by halves of Michigan State's first 4 game against UCLA. And the first half, not only did Michigan State have an 11-point lead, it had been 14, and Michigan State about as efficient on offense as we had seen it, gentlemen. And then UCLA reversing that in the second half, 77 all going into overtime, and then the Bruins outscored Michigan State 9-3, and you knew Michigan State was in trouble in the last couple minutes of the second half. Graham Couch, what happened to Michigan State in the second half in the overtime? Looked like 2 totally different teams.
Yeah, they wore down a little bit, I think was it. But for the first time all season, maybe not all season, but in a long time, they looked very tight, too, when things got dicey for them. You know, you look back at the end of the regular season, Ohio State, Illinois, those were games late where they showed a lot of poise. And I thought, you know, you looked at UCLA, on the other hand, that had lost 4 straight games that they led in the second half. And I thought that edge would go to Michigan State. But when you see air balls, not only is that fatigue, that is tightness, and then just a lack of execution. And in some ways, it epitomized the whole season. You saw some of their best basketball in the first half, 4 passes from inside out to an open shooter in the corner, just really good movement. They just looked like a physically dominant team. And then UCLA took it to them. They couldn't defend them on the drive. And at the end, they didn't make the plays that they've been making, frankly, in close games this year.
We've seen a couple of those teams that had lost at the end of the season, Graham, not just UCLA. Wisconsin finished up rough and then came back with a big win over North Carolina. Syracuse, now it's off and running again at tournament time, as it often is. Rico, Michigan State's troubles began just before halftime. A missed switch assignment, and Gabe Brown and Malik Hall. And then there were some words exchanged. Tom Izzo trying to get Gabe's attention in the tunnel. Did any of that surprise you? I don't think it should at this point, but were you surprised by the reaction to it? Certainly the former players all coming to Tom's defense, and a mixture nationally.
I think I was more surprised by the reaction to it, Jack, where it was like every announcer just was, oh my God, look at what he's doing. And you know, they're yelling at each other. And it's like, guys, is this your first tournament? Like, especially Kenny Smith. Kenny, you've been doing it, you know, broadcasting these games and been in the booth for a while now, and you're shocked. I don't get it. No, I mean, if anything, you know, I would say Izzo probably owes Gabe Brown an apology, because he should have been yelling at Malik Hall. Malik was the one that did not switch on his man. Gabe did his job, and Gabe kind of looked like, hey, why are you yelling at me? I didn't do anything wrong. But the reaction from the media just – we saw this with Aaron Henry. I mean, we're a soft society. Guys, look, in the end, you know what? This is what they do at Michigan State. And you saw Draymond and Steve Smith and Brandon Wood and a lot of players just coming out saying this is just Michigan State basketball.
The one thing I'll counter that, though, is that the escalation from Aaron Henry was that he did grab him, right? And that's what – and it's okay not to like that. The overreactions get to be too much, and there are certain writers that don't watch him all year or dislike Izzo that will come down on it. But when you grab an athlete, look, if Archie Miller did that and they were looking for a reason to get rid of him, that would have been it. So it does, being Tom Izzo helps him be Tom Izzo, so to speak, but the winning. But and so I'm not sure it's something that he should be doing, but it's part of what he's done for a long time. And you're right, that having the former players step up and say, this is what we want, this is what the program is, I think helps.
Graham, I want to break this season down into 5 stages. Unbeaten in the pre-conference, and then a 4-9 start, and then a frenetic finish. Michigan State 5-2 that got them into the tournament, and then losses in the league tournament and the NCAA. Can you use one word besides inconsistent to describe this team and briefly give us your high and low moments?
Yeah, I would say unique. I don't know if there's ever been a team that has had such highs and such lows. And I think that's why the metrics struggled with them. A team that can lose by 25 points as often as they did, and also beat 3 of the top 10 teams in the country in a 2-week span and put that run together. And it comes down to point guard play and a lot of reasons. And certainly they fooled us at the beginning with the win over Duke, and now Duke fooled us too because Duke wound up being bad. Right. It's a bizarre season. It was an exhausting season. I think the COVID stop when it happened, the first Purdue loss. But I would just say it's a unique season. I don't think we'll ever see it again from Michigan State, and really you may never see it from another team.
Rico, if we look at Michigan State's NCAA tournament performance over the last 11 years, are you convinced that the first losing Big Ten season since '93 and the lowest NCAA seed of the Izzo era will soon be forgotten once Michigan State gets back on track?
I do, Jack. I really do.
We'll be right back with more. Our Tracking a Trophy segment up next, talking about Michigan.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Hello, Mid-Michigan. This is Joe Gebhardt, your Jackson neighborhood reporter.
At the David Chapman Agency, we take your business insurance personally. Our expertise makes it easy for you. Experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about your business with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
I belong at Lansing Community College because nothing stands in my way. LCC professors and instructors are online learning experts and bring professional experience into the classroom, so I know what I learn is valuable. LCC offers transferable classes for 40% less and welcomes transfer and guest students. Many career-focused programs can be completed in less than 1 year. You belong here too. Visit lcc.edu/youbelong and apply today.
Check this, March is back, so let's make up for lost time with more action on FanDuel Sportsbook all March long, including up to $1,000 back if you airball your first bet. Game's on, FanDuel Sportsbook.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by The Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, visit Brian and his terrific staff at theticketmachine.com. There you see the story of Michigan's first round win over Texas Southern. 18-point lead at halftime, just about even in the second half in a 16-point win to advance. Graham Couch, what did the Wolverines do differently Saturday than they had in a late season slide other than play Texas Southern?
Yeah, I don't know that there was. I mean, they played an opponent they're better than. What I want to see more from them is, like Brandon Johns, for example. To me, when he's the straight up replacement for a guy like for Isaiah Livers, I don't like that lineup as much. I think Johns at the 5 is what makes them better defensively. And when they do that, I like that. When they get the, I like Shawnee Brown more at the 4. I think the Livers thing eventually bites them, but I don't mind their path. I just think trying to coach into replacing replacing Livers with a guy who sort of looks like it doesn't fit. Their team is different when they do that.
Yeah. Rico, let's take a look at U of M's path to a possible championship. Which team do you see derailing Michigan along the way? Or could you see Michigan winning the first national championship for the Big Ten since the Spartans in 2000?
Well, Jack, I don't think that they could get past Gonzaga and Baylor in a 2-day span. That's just impossible for anybody, and that's not fair for Juwan or any of the Wolverines. But the one is LSU. Michigan wanted St. Bonaventure to win that game. LSU is going to give a challenge because Michigan's without a scorer in Isaiah Livers. LSU is going to try to dictate the tempo. LSU is going to try to make you get into a 3-point shooting contest with them and speed the game up. This is where Mike Smith has to slow it down and keep this game and really work the half-court offense and not get caught up in trying to shoot 3-point shooting contests. The fact that you don't have one of your scorers in Isaiah Livers really means that you have to watch out because that's the trap. LSU, they're a schizophrenic team. When they're on, my goodness, they're great. They kind of remind me of like Minnesota in the Big Ten, where you never really know which Minnesota team is going to show up.
Yeah.
I would watch out for that LSU team if I'm Michigan.
Graham, how many more wins do you see for the Wolverines? And what does it say that the 4 teams that have beaten Michigan this year are all finished playing?
Well, the tournament's about matchups, and the reasons for Illinois and Ohio State exiting, are their own reasons. Some of it was bad seeding. Some of it was perhaps the Big Ten tournament going as late as it doesn't help those teams. But for Michigan, I agree with Rico on LSU. LSU's scary. They're not complex. I mean, I think anybody could coach to what they do. But what makes Michigan so good is they were such an amazing collective when they were at full strength. And I think they're a little less of that. And that's what makes this nerve-wracking. I still like their path for a team that was supposed to be seated behind Illinois. I don't know how Illinois got that draw and Michigan got this one. I think Michigan can get to the Final Four. But again, without being full strength, you see Baylor start to find it right now. And what the Zags are, I mean, I think Rico's right. 2 straight games. I don't think they can beat either one of those teams without Livers.
Florida State is so long. I think that would be an interesting matchup. And then if it's Alabama, that game could be in the 90s, depending on how Franz Wagner is shooting. Rico, let's take a look at Michigan's NCAA tournament success over the past 11 years. And is this team better than the 2 that John Beilein took to runner-up finishes in 2013 and 18?
Ooh, Jack, I would say no, because those 2 teams had the point guard leadership, especially the one with Trey Burke. We'll have to wait and see, but I think Beilein has them beat for that Final Four team.
And I think this year's Michigan team has had exceptional point guard play, surprising play, from Mike Smith, who was not really a point guard before at Columbia, but except at the end of the Ohio State game in the Big Ten tournament, I think he's been one of the big reasons the Wolverines have been as successful as they have. We'll be right back. We're going to look at the Big Ten. We have to in this tournament up next.
It's the Super 7-Day Sell-Off at Furniture Row. Shop today and save big store-wide on all living, dining, and bedroom. Plus, 5 years, no interest, and free shipping. But hurry, the Super 7-Day Sell-Off at Furniture Row ends Thursday.
We believe home is where the action is. With the FanDuel Casino app, you're only a few taps from your favorite real money casino games. like slots, roulette, and even blackjack. And when you're ready to cash out, you can get to the cage without ever leaving your couch and get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. With FanDuel Casino, you're never far from the action. Join today and play your first 24 hours risk-free and get up to $200 back.
It's the Super 7-Day Sell-Off at Denver Mattress. Right now, get the Doctor's Choice Firm for only $569.99. Or check out the Summit Firm, just $237.49. Plus 5 years no interest and free shipping. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
Don't miss Last Man Standing.
Weeknights on Fox 47.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus. Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. There you see the Big Ten in action in the NCAA Tournament from Thursday through today, the first day of the round of 32, and 6-5 record. Rutgers is a 7.5-point underdog to Houston, and that game is going on as we tape, just about to start. If the Scarlet Knights lose that one, the Big Ten will be 6-6 at this point, a league that was thought by just about everyone to be the best in the country. Rico, how much embarrassment does the Big Ten deserve for this start, including 4 upset losses along the way?
I think they deserve a lot of embarrassment because they pretty much told everybody that, hey, we're the best conference. Look at us. We got 3 teams in the top 5. We got 4 teams in the top 7. And, we play in the roughest conference. It's tough. It's physical every night. It's a grind. And you got to the tournament and, yeah, all of that went out of the window. So the Big Ten should be very embarrassed for this performance. Man, you're leading it down to what, Iowa and Michigan, which ironically enough were 2 of the better teams this year.
Graham, let's take a look at the stunning losses for Ohio State, for Purdue, and for Illinois. Here you see the Buckeyes versus Oral Roberts. That's a 2 versus 15 matchup, and went into overtime. And whenever you do that, you are susceptible. That's exactly what happened to the Buckeyes. And Purdue, similar fate, another overtime loss. Graham, what happened to these teams along the way? How did they lose these 2 games on Friday? And I guess you could say Illinois, facing a misseeded Loyola team, certainly dominated that game from start to finish. But this was a Fighting Illini team that some thought could beat Gonzaga.
Yeah, I mean, these were tough matchups in that you can sometimes see when a game starts with really low seeds, whether they physically can just hang, right? And right away in all these matchups, you go, wow, these weren't the greatest matchups for the Big Ten teams. Ohio State, without being down a guy and being down their glue guy, frankly, and Young. Kyle Young. I think that makes a big difference for them. And when you look at their performances with him and without him throughout the season, another Big Ten tournament injury, right? And Purdue, I was surprised by. Young guards. That was the game that really I just expected more out of what I've seen from them lately. And then Illinois, bad matchup, a lot of lessons to learn there. Number one, if you're Illinois and you're in state against a school that's going to be determined to beat you, I mean, there were a lot of motivating factors for Loyola right now. They were misseeded. The NCAA Tournament Selection Committee should be embarrassed by that. But then you want to play Loyola every single year. They want to play you. You want to know exactly what happens.
That's exactly why they don't play them, is what happened today.
Right.
But they did play in 1963 in a regional final in Jenison Fieldhouse, the only time the NCAA tournament has ever been held in East Lansing. And, of course, Loyola beat Illinois and went on to win the national championship. Rico, let's take a look at the remaining Big Ten teams. And is Michigan the only one that has a reasonable path to the national title game? Or could you see Gonzaga, Iowa in the rematch be any different from the route in the first meeting?
No, Jack, I see that Michigan may go the furthest because they'll play Gonzaga, but that's not going to win. So the Big Ten is going to come up 0 again. Mateen Cleaves and the Spartans will be the last Big Ten team to win a national championship in 2000. So that streak will continue, kind of like Izzo's streak of making the tournament.
Graham, let's take a look at the Big Ten's best showings since Michigan State's championship in 2000. We're talking about 7 runner-up finishes, 7 chances to get rings and the banner, and 0 for 7 there. When does this championship drought end? And if you were hiring coaches at Indiana and Minnesota to try to do that, who would you pick?
Well, if I were Minnesota, I don't know what Indiana's going to do, because that's a tough place with a lot of politics. And, you hear the Brad Stevens, that's the dream, right? I don't know where they go. Porter Moser is a guy who...
He's already said no. He's definitely not leaving.
Right. Porter Moser is a guy, though, in Minnesota, to me, makes sense. We'll see if they go that route. What I like about Moser is he's a guy who failed, and didn't really fail, but didn't win to the level they wanted to at Illinois State, got fired there, went and coached under Rick Majerus for 4 years, and now has built a program. They've been giving him the resources at Loyola. That's been a really successful thing. That guy would intrigue me if I'm any high major school. So that's the way I would go if I'm Minnesota.
We will be right back, and we're going to take a big picture look at the entire tournament. Up next, here on Press Pass.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards, because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Drew Barrymore, weekdays at 9 on Fox 47 and again at 6 on My 47.
Hi, I'm Pat with the Holt Dimondale Insurance Agency. Do you have horses, cows, or even llamas on your farm? With Auto Owners Insurance Company, We make sure that your life events and animals are protected. Call your hometown team today.
Check this, March is back. The March we all deserve. So let's make up for lost time. With more guaranteed takes from the group thread, more 12s over 5s, mascots over logic. Oh, and the best part, making someone like you a millionaire. Welcome back, March. Place your first bet risk-free. Plus, everyone gets a free shot at $1 million when they bet the tournament on FanDuel. Game's on. FanDuel Sportsbook.
With the McChicken Biscuit and the Chicken McGriddles now part of a 2 for $3 mix and match deal, we've created a delicious dilemma. In a delectable pairing, which one's the side? Choose for yourself at McDonald's.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. There were close to 20 million brackets filled out, according to the 5 trackable sites, NCAA.com, ESPN, CBS, Yahoo, and Sports Illustrated. And after round 1, down to just 121 perfect ballots. And there you see how they got down to 0. The last 3 correct ballots all had UConn to beat Maryland. And from that point on, they were dead. There was nothing left in terms of perfection. Graham, you've been known to put your money where your mouth is. Which game played this week would have really fattened your bankroll, and which one would have made you broke?
Ohio over Virginia, I liked all along. I thought the ACC was not very good. I didn't think Virginia was very good. They had COVID issues. I loved the money line with Ohio. What surprises me about that Maryland-UConn stat is I liked Maryland a ton over UConn. Like, I had that. I had a lot of things wrong, but I had that one. And so those, teams that went through the COVID stuff late, I kept an eye on. Even Kansas with Eastern Washington, Eastern Washington covered the spread there. Those are the games that I liked.
Which one burned you the most?
Well, Illinois, certainly. I thought Illinois I thought they were just too good for Loyola, and I was just wrong. That was probably the one that jumped out. Another one I really liked, strangely, was Wisconsin over North Carolina, and that's just a coaching deal and thinking Roy Williams didn't have the horses.
I didn't see that one because I'd watched enough of Wisconsin and North Carolina late in the season. Rico, as we take a look at the first round upsets, it's the first time in history that 4 teams seeded 13 or higher won games. What's been your best pick of the week, and what was your biggest miss?
My best pick of the week, Jack, believe it or not, was Abilene Christian over Texas, because Shaka Smart, 0-3. Something happened. Once he left VCU, he can't win a game in the tournament at Texas. And I didn't see that changing this year. So everybody called me crazy for that one. The one that really got me, I got to agree with Graham, it was Illinois. I didn't see that coming. I knew that Loyola Chicago would play them close. Yeah. But I didn't think it would be like that. I kind of thought it was like whenever Oakland plays Michigan or Michigan State, they take it personal. That's what Loyola Chicago did. They took that game very personal.
Yeah, I had Gonzaga over Illinois in the championship game, so there goes that idea. Graham, let's take a look at the wins by conference in the first round, and you had 16 conferences that were one and done. They got nothing out of it, but here you see the Big Ten in the first round with a 6-3 record. Still stuck on 6 wins. Big 12 also 6-1. Pac-12 unbeaten, 6 wins with their 5 teams, counting the no contest win for Oregon. When you look at this, I can hear Bill Walton talking about Conference of Champions, Graham. What else do we know from round 1?
Well, yeah, the Pac-12 is certainly, maybe people shut up a little bit. I think the Big 12 has had a good showing. I think it's a reminder with that. Look, some of these, and you can see it on the floor. Some of these mid-major leagues, the difference in talent is not that great, and there are some lessons in recruiting. You look, Illinois or Loyola has a couple guys, a center from suburban Illinois who's a pudgy dude, right? So he doesn't get recruited, and he torches you. They've got a guy out there in Williams out in the perimeter who's a defensive-minded dude who would have loved to go to Illinois, was the best defender on the court. Who you recruit and why you don't recruit them. When you don't recruit them and they wind up at Loyola, you can really be in trouble. And that sometimes comes home to roost in those in-state stuff. But the Missouri Valley gets a couple wins, 3 wins really, with the Drake game. And that's a good sign for mid-majors. And someday the committee will actually look at a school like Loyola and properly seed them.
Rico, we have had 5 teams enter the NCAA tournament unbeaten since Indiana went 32-0 and won it 45 years ago. If Gonzaga runs the table, the Bulldogs/Zags would have that exact same mark. We're talking about 32-0. Can Mark Few's men get it done?
Jack, they look like it, man. I am looking forward to the Zags playing the Baylor Bears in the national championship game. I think that would be fitting for Gonzaga to win that game and to knock off the Bears. But if that happens, I look for Baylor to end Gonzaga's dreams that night.
Ooh. Graham, I think all of us liked Illinois to have a chance to get that far. Do you agree with Rico? Do you think now we're looking at Gonzaga-Baylor?
I do. Michigan full strength is in that category, but they're not full strength.
All right. We will be right back in just a minute. We're going to look at the Pistons, the Lions, and the Tigers up next.
Come on down to Grow Generation for all your grow supply needs. We've got it all, from organic nutrients and soils to state-of-the-art hydroponic equipment and lights. Grow Generation has the best product selection, service, and solutions in the industry. Ask about Sunleaves, our in-house line of nutrients, or check out our brand new Ion 720-watt LED light fixture. Whether you're a novice or a pro, Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for all grow supplies. Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow.
Look out, America! The Moody's are coming.
Wife won't let you keep it. It was a mutual decision.
All 3 kids living at home.
You gotta pay rent. Family rules.
Not even kind of a rule.
We're just a regular, normal family.
I'm buying it if you are. I dropped Sean Jr. twice when he was a kid. I dropped all my kids. It's a rite of passage.
The Moody's. Mom.
You used to wet the bed when you were really stressed.
When I was 8.
Seriously?
Premieres April 1st on Fox.
I'm Tiana Jenkins. Find out what's happening in your neighborhood.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Champions! At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. Stop and see Chuck, Delita, and their terrific staff for the best in Mediterranean food. That's why I'm there every week. There you see a look at the consensus top 5 picks for the 2021 NBA draft. 3 of them you can keep watching, and they're going to play starring roles in this NCAA tournament. Cade Cunningham of Oklahoma State, Evan Mobley of USC, Jalen Suggs of Gonzaga. Just about something for everyone. Rico, it looks like the Pistons will have one of the top 5 picks for sure, and could even have the number 1 pick, depending on how the ping pong balls sort out. As you look at these guys, how would you rank these prospects? And is there a difference maker, if not a true franchise player, in this group?
It's funny, Jack, because with the G League competition, you don't really know how well these guys are going to be. I think they're still more of a project, but I look at Cade Cunningham, and I think that he could be that guy that the Pistons need, a taller point guard. I mean, he's very mature for his age. He just kind of sees the game, and he lets it come to him. I think that's what the Pistons need. You know, Killian Hayes, you got him last year. He's been injured. He hasn't really done anything. So if you got an opportunity to get a Cade Cunningham, that's the guy that you want. If not, I would take Jalen Suggs out of Gonzaga. That would be pick number 2 for me, followed by Mosley and then the 2 G League guys.
Graham, Jalen Suggs, the kind of player that Gonzaga has never had. It's had Corey Kisperts before, Adam Morrison types, but it's never had a Jalen Suggs. And if you got another good look at Evan Mobley, if he isn't the second coming of Chris Bosh, I've never seen him. How big of a difference do you think there is in this draft between 1, 3, and 5?
I think 1 and 2 is clear, and to me, it's Cade Cunningham. Obviously, he's the guy whatever you were planning with Killian Hayes, you forget about it. You get Cade Cunningham because I think he's a true franchise guy, and I think Evan Mobley is not that far behind. I think Mobley or Hayes, if you're 1 or 2, you're great. Suggs, I don't know that they'll take him with Hayes there. I don't know that that's the direction they'll go. I think there is a little bit of a drop off. The Pistons, if you're the Pistons, you want to be 1 or 2 this year. I think there are 2 guys who have the most likely potential to be franchise-type players in this draft.
Rico, switching to the Detroit Lions, the Jared Goff era has begun. Matthew Stafford is out in Southern California. Jared Goff is here saying all the right things. We don't know that he'll be throwing all the right passes, but when you look at a couple of other personnel moves, Lions getting a key pickup in Jamal Williams, who was a terrific compliment for the Green Bay Packers, and a lot of people in Wisconsin did not want to see him go. And then losing Kenny Galladay, and he was signed to a megabucks deal with the New York Giants. What's your take on those moves?
I think it was good moves for both. I mean, Galladay got $18 million from the Giants, and really the Giants bid on them against themselves. Nobody else was offering that type of money. So, good for Kenny. You got $18 million a year from New York. Fine. You're not going to win, but you got paid. But getting Williams, Jamal from the Packers, good compliment back to DeAndre Swift. I think it means the end of Kerryon Johnson here in Detroit. Look, Brad Holmes has been doing the right things, and it's weird, Jack, to say Lions GM making smart moves. It's a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not used to this.
Rico can't say that without gagging. Graham, when you think about Kenny Galladay leaving, and it was a lot of money, but who's going to catch these passes from Jared Goff?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're playing for the long. I mean, if you want Jared Goff to be the quarterback, you need somebody, and maybe that's the way they go in the draft. There are a lot of good receivers in this draft, but again, you're I don't think you're tanking, but you're playing the long game now. You're not going to waste money on people. You're going to use Hawkinson as your tight end. You get young guys and hope to give them a shot, and if they pan out, they pan out. But this is a long game deal. A year from now, if you draft your quarterback, then you got to worry about who's catching the ball. Then you got to worry about his confidence. And if Goff is great despite not having a number 1 target, or maybe they'll get one in the draft, then good. Yeah. But you don't worry about it too much.
Graham, the Tigers are almost ready to come north. From what little we've seen, how many wins would you project this season? And is this another year where you and Jason Nick might want to bet against them every game?
I think so. We'll see. You got to be pretty bad for that to be worth it. We got burned with the Red Wings a little bit. They won a little too much. But I think the over-under on them, which is about 68.5. If you this year, because of the pandemic, they're doing it based on win percentage. Yeah. But that's what it comes out to. I think that's a little high. I think they're in the low 60s somewhere.
What do you think, Rico? What's your number?
Wins, man, probably like 64, 65.
68 is in honor of a world championship year. I guess you could say 84 too, but I don't know many people who would go that far other than Fred Thompson. We will be right back, coming up with Mark Ewell.
There's no better place to bet the NBA than on FanDuel Sportsbook. Bet every game, all season long, with live betting from tip-off right through the final whistle. Want even more action? Try a same-game parlay. And after that final, get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Place your first bet risk-free and get up to $1,000 back if you don't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win.
WSYM Fox 47 is an equal opportunity employer and is dedicated to providing broad outreach regarding job vacancies. We seek the help of local organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should contact our Human Resources Department by calling 517-484-7747.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. Peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders. And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Value and Values segment, brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, a statewide organization with a proud history. The MHSAA supports broad-based opportunities for growth and teaches life lessons through the value and values of high school athletics. There you see the 8 reigning MHSAA basketball champions, and you have to go back to 2019. Last year, there were a lot of teams ready to vie for titles, and COVID shut them down. I'm very happy to welcome Mark Ewell, Executive Director of the Michigan High School Athletic Association. And Mark, what are the chances that we can get 8 champions as worthy as the ones we had 2 years ago, and 8 groups that are as happy as your football champions were at Ford Field?
I think they're pretty good, Jack. You look at the list of those 8, and that seems like forever ago, back in March of 2019. But no, with the governor's announcement on Friday of some more testing, what it does allow is for almost 2 full weeks of winter tournaments to get completed before the testing requirement kicks in on April 2. So testing is not something that is new to us. We did it with the pilot program back in January. We've been doing it with wrestling the entire season since February. So yet one more curveball here in this year of COVID, but we'll take it in stride, and we will be crowning champions this year here in just a few weeks.
And the MHSAA rules that you got on Friday, as you say, they don't affect much the rest of this month, right?
They really don't. So that testing requirement, it's weekly testing. So essentially for our winter, the only two sports that are still going on April 2nd are our individual wrestling finals. That's 896 kids who, as I said, have been testing going back to February. And then you're going to have about 950 basketball players, 32 girls quarterfinal teams, 32 boys quarterfinal teams. They'll have to test once the week of the quarters and semis and the finals. So it's going to affect less than 2,000 kids. The bigger group, obviously, is spring athletes, with them having to test once a week once we hit April 2.
And there is no cost associated with that. That is all handled at the state level. And it seems like now you know how to do this. There's a pretty good chance that you can pull off a spring season, even though it might be compacted a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have become testing experts over the last few months. No, to MDHHS's credit, they've provided every rapid test to every school that has wanted to test, not just athletes, but anybody. And so that's been key, that those have been free to all schools, and not just public schools, but our public and our non-public schools. And I'm still hopeful that by the time the calendar hits April, everything then moves outdoors for the spring. Smallest crowds of the year. We've only got 2 contact sports in the spring: girls soccer, boys lacrosse. Get us through the next 20 days of our winter tournaments. And I have a lot of confidence that we'll be able to get spring done and done on time.
What about officials and home plate umpires, say, for baseball and softball with close proximity to catchers?
You know, that'll be a little bit of a challenge. The challenges do go down once we get outdoors. So even though you've got the plate umpire and the catcher, and there are times in lacrosse or in soccer where our officials are in close proximity, those are all some challenges. But what we've had to deal with all winter with 3-person basketball crews and indoor all-day wrestling tournaments, again, there are still hurdles in the spring, but the hurdles are a lot fewer and they're a lot lower. So again, I will just be grateful once we reach the finish line, Jack, in 20 days here with our winter championships.
If athletes, parents, coaches, administrators have questions, they can always contact the MHSAA. They're working for you. We'll be right back with our weekly awards. Cool and Smooth up next.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards, because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Yeah, right. Pepperoni pockets, an atomic brownie, cuckoo crusty.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch. You're the man, man.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for a Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by 4 great Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Okemos North and South, North Lansing, and West Lansing. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. Gentlemen, do you recognize Greg Niggle? Greg, Greggnigle from Columbus, Ohio. Do you know who that is?
No idea.
He has the record for the most perfect picks in the recorded history of brackets. He had 49 straight to start in 2019, and then he missed Purdue and Villanova in the Sweet 16. And you think, well, he's going to go on and win a lot of money. He went 4-11 the rest of the way and won basically nothing. But he was on all of the shows, and he was on the news shows, etc. And very, very difficult to do. This year they only got to 27. All right, gentlemen, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion the first week of the NCAA tournament? Rico Beard, what do you have for us for our play of the week?
Jack, play of the week, NCAA tournament, you would think, oh my goodness, a lot of buzzer beaters. Hasn't been a lot of buzzer beaters, but there has been ice water in veins with key free throws being hit at the end. And I don't think anybody has colder blood than Joe Pleasant from Abilene Christian. Sitting there, I mean, this was like what every kid does in their backyard. Okay, 2 free throws. You're down 1. Okay, game wasn't tied. He not only had to make the first one just to tie it, he needed the second one to win. He switched the first one with ease. The second one kind of rattled in, but it fell. So I'm giving it to Joe Pleasant from Abilene Christian as they beat and upset. They upset Texas 53-52 thanks to his 2 big free throws.
And what an odd stats line this guy has, Rico. He's hitting nearly 50% of his threes and only 59% at the line. No one could figure out how that was, but when he really needed them, he was, as you say, ice water. Graham, what do you have for us? Lots of candidates for our team of the week.
I'm going to give you 2, and it's 2 teams with something in common. UCLA and Loyola Chicago, both with program wins. Mick Cronin trying to build a program in the image of Tom Izzo. He preaches Michigan State to his guys all the time. They'd had a hard end of the season. They needed that win for them. For what he was trying to build, they needed to come out and play a toughness game, a mental toughness game, and they did. Loyola, again, when you're trying to build a program, to do something maybe like what Butler did, which won themselves into different leagues, which changed the complexion of their university and their profile and all that stuff, after going to a Final Four, you come out and you beat the in-state team, the University of Illinois, and get to a Sweet 16 program win, no matter how far you go the rest of this year. That's a big deal. I think those 2 teams, program wins, big. Those are my 2 teams of the week.
And Oral Roberts as a 15. And Rico, how sure were you that somehow Graham was going to get a mention to Ohio University from the MAC but managed to not do that. We appreciate that.
Well, I mean, he still picked a mid-major school for one of them, so.
All right, for our player of the week, and we could go through the NCAA tournament, I would just say this is going to be one heck of a one shining moment. And they could do one just from this first weekend. And they would have, I don't know if you've seen the 3-minute NCAA highlight, but it is awesome with all the celebrations that they have. But for player of the week, I have to give a shout out to Damian Lillard and what he did the other night. His team was so far behind. He winds up with 50 points and 10 assists, 15 points in the last 5 minutes, 7 in the last 52 seconds, 4 in the last 5 seconds, and led the Blazers to a big win. And here he is now moving front and center in the MVP conversation. Joel Embiid was injured. LeBron James getting a high ankle sprain yesterday. Watch Damian Lillard. I want to thank Rico Beard, Mike Valenti's show with Rico, and Graham Couch of the State Journal. We'll see you next week, everyone. Have a great week.